Hello from Moffat. Starter homes were meant to be the safe corner of the market. So why are entry-level asking prices falling? Today, I'll show the latest numbers. What's driving it? What's different in Scotland versus England? And what to do whether you're buying or selling. What the data says, fresh from Rightmove. Not that I always pay attention to Rightmove and what it says. However, even Rightmove are saying prices fell 1.3% in August. That's the third monthly drop in a row. Okay, pretty normal for August, admittedly. But there's more. The first-time buyer sector, that's your typical 2-bed and under, the homes dropped 0.5% month on month and is 0.4% lower year on year. Crucially, it's a 2-speed market. 34% of listings are reducing their price during marketing. If you get the price right, you're finding a buyer in about 32 days. Need a reduction and it stretches for 99 days. Yet activity isn't dead. Sales agreed are up 8% on last year because keen prices is pulling buyers off the fence. Entry-level property prices are edging down, which is unexpected. This is not a doom story, but definitely a reset. Let's unpack why the starter segment is softening even as activity improves. More choice equals more negotiating power. Stock on portals is about 10% higher than this time last year. More choice lets first-time buyers push back on price, especially on homes without standard features. This week I bounced between a couple of Scottish towns and over the border for the day for viewings. My saved searches have exploded. More 2-bed starter places than I've had, as I say, in ages. I'm also seeing more price reduce flags and agents being upfront about pricing sharp to get traction. Last week I saw a property in Annan. They asked me for my feedback. So they said immediately that a company owned the house and would be willing to accept £10,000 less than the asking price. Apparently, the incentive was to give me a £1,000 voucher to encourage me to go ahead with the purchase. That reduction wouldn't even touch the sides of what it would cost to bring the EPC up from F to a comfortable D. So for the time being, I passed on that, but it was an interesting conversation. Secondly, affordability is still so tight for people. I really do feel sorry for first-time buyers. My niece and nephew, they still haven't been able to buy their own property, and like many young people, it's not even on their radar. So even at 4% base rate, deposits and stress tests bite, especially for people without equity. Entry-level places that need windows, heating tweaks, or have a D/E EPC are sticking. As a buyer, I'm costing upgrades up front, and so is everyone else. You can't afford to take on a property that is going to cost you a huge amount to heat. Not a crash signal by itself. Price right and it moves. In Scotland, the story can look different at first glance. Official sold data, the UK HPI, shows Scotland up 5.9% year on year in June, with an average around £192,000. Healthier than parts of England. But remember, HPI is completed sales. Rightmove tracks new asking prices, so it picks up shifts earlier. Add Scotland's offers over culture and home report anchoring, and you can still get softening entry-level asks. HPI is completed sales, and there's a time lag on that, so we don't know what those are until they get reported months, even a year or so later. Turnkey places still go relatively quickly, but dated stock or poor energy performance meets buyer pushback. So what am I doing as a buyer? If it's been sitting 60 days plus, especially after reduction, I go with evidence. Pricing the fixes, that's a key thing. I am line iteming windows, insulation, electrics, basics, but things that make the house comfortable. If the numbers stack, then I'm going to offer. If not, I have to pull away. In offers over, I ask for recent closing figures on similar streets. I'm chasing light, layout and running costs, not just square footage. What I'd do if I were a seller. And I appreciate I'm not, so you might think I'm biased. So you can take it or leave it. It's a quick checklist. Price it right the first time. It sounds sensible, but a lot of people are not doing this and living to regret it as they chase the market down. The 32 versus 99 day cap is brutal. Beat it by being realistic on day one. Preempt objections. Bills, broadband speed, parking. Put them in the listing. It saves so much time. And I appreciate the home report has a lot of that information already, and that's a bonus. It's a shame we don't have that system in England. Mirror new build tactics. Consider legal contribution or chain flexibility to widen your buyer pool. And in Scotland, align home report and offers over to today's buyer's pool, not 2022. So I'm planning routes for next week's viewings now. It's a very difficult choice. Do I go east or do I go east and then north and then come back down west coast? I need to align my saved properties and make my decision. I'd be very interested if you've got any comments. I know this is a hot topic and divides many people. Some passionately believing that house prices always go up, but I've been around long enough to know that's not the case. If you have any comments, please drop them in the box. Let me know what you think or your own experiences. Are you hanging on to see what happens with the market? Or are you just desperate to buy your own home and get on with living? I know I am. And I'll say goodbye until next time, whilst I wait for my pizza at the lovely Moffat campsite. Please subscribe, don't forget the comment, and give it the thumbs up. See you next time.